Today we're going to be learning how to classify triangles. I can classify triangles by their sides and by their angle measurements. So there are 6 ways to classify. The first way we're going to look at is we're going to look at how to classify it by its sides. So, an equilateral triangle has 3 sides that are the same length. And when I do testing, I will see these little dash marks. I will see these little dash marks. These dash marks mean same. Same. These dash marks will tell me if something is the same length as another. So if all 3 sides are the same, they are equal. And if they are equal, the name of this triangle is equilateral. Say that with me. Equilateral. Equilateral means same on all 3 sides. The next triangle we're going to look at is isosceles, and it has 2 sides that are the same length. So again, I see that I have these 2 little marks. Those 2 little dashes mean same. And isosceles triangle has 2 sides that are the same length. 2 sides that are the same length. Now, an isosceles triangle can either be acute or obtuse, but it can never be right. Because if it's right, I won't have 2 sides that measure the same length. So, my last one that we're going to talk about is scalene, and it has no sides that are the same length. A scalene triangle has sides that measure 3 different measurements. So, I could say 3, 4, 5. And this triangle now has 3 sides that are all different lengths. Now, let's go back and look at isosceles. Sometimes on a test, they will label my sides and ask me, what am I? What kind of triangle am I? An isosceles triangle will have 2 of the same digits labeling its sides. And an equilateral triangle, again, I have that dash, that same marker on all 3 sides. Do you think that it will have the same number on all 3 sides? Do you think that? I think yes, because those dashes mean same and equilateral means equal triangle. I'm going to say they all have the same measurements. Now, another way I can look at a triangle is by the angles that it has. I can look at it by its angles. So, a right triangle has 1 right angle. It's going to have that tattletale. It's going to have the tattletale. That tattletale tells me that angle measurement is going to be exactly 90 degrees in that one corner. Because I know from my last unit that a right angle is worth 90 degrees. An acute triangle, because it's so cute, has 3 acute angles. So if it's acute, the angles go from 1 degree to 89 degrees. So it can look almost vertical like a right triangle. It can look almost like a right triangle. But if it's not exactly 90, and I don't have the tattletale telling me, it's not going to be right. It's going to be, it's a cute. Because it's little. They're little numbers. Now, the last one that we can classify a triangle as is obtuse. And obtuse is going to have that big angle. It's going to have one obtuse angle, and it has to measure greater than a right angle. So if it's going to be obtuse, the angle has to measure 91 degrees to 179 degrees. That is how I measure acute angles, is 1 degree to 91 degrees to 179 degrees. Let's look at some examples. Now that we know what these triangles look like, we're going to keep our notes on this page. Let's look at some examples. We're going to classify by its sides and then by its angles. So every triangle has two names. Every triangle will have two names because I can classify by its side and by its angles. So, number 3. Oh, it's giving me a clue. It has those same dashes. It has those same dashes. So using what I know about triangles, would it be equilateral or isosceles? Yeah, it's isosceles because it has two of the same sides. And I do require my students to write its whole name, just so we can get practice writing its name. Isosceles. But look at these angles. Are they acute, right, or obtuse? Are they acute, right, or obtuse? Yeah, they're acute. So I can either call this triangle an acute triangle, or I can call it isosceles. Number 4. Oh, hey, you can't really see it too well, but it's giving me 3 dash marks. What do those dashes mean again? Yeah, that they're equal, right? How many dash marks do I have on number 4? So if I have 3 of the same side, is it going to be obtuse or equilateral? Yeah, you're so right. It's equilateral. Now, look at your angles. Are they acute, or are they obtuse, or are they right? Are they acute, obtuse, or right? And again, I'm still looking at this one. So they're acute. They're all equal. I hope this has helped, and I'll see you again real soon.